It's one of the most hyped games ever, so will it deliver? Over the next 3 episodes, Eurogamer TV will tell you everything you need to know about Battlefield 3, starting with a trip down memory lane.
Satellite coming down in 3, 2, 1.
In what is arguably the most crowded and competitive genre of all, Battlefield has remained a successful and distinctive force for over a decade. With the imminent arrival of Battlefield 3, expectations have never been higher. But the journey started right back at the end of the last millennium, before there was any such thing as Battlefield.
I ended up in the industry when I was around 30. I had been doing a lot of different jobs, but always been drawing. And then some friends in the blues band told me kind of, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do, man. It's kind of not a 9-to-5 job. So I studied for a year. Didn't know where I was aiming for the movie industry or games, but ended up in the games industry, Refraction Games. We're working hard on a game called Codename Eagle. The idea there was kind of all-out war, soldiers, vehicles on a battlefield. So when I came onto the project, we played day and night, 16 players multiplayer.
In tandem with this ambitious title, the team also began work on a side project.
So we made, actually it's 12.5 years ago, in May we made the first demo of Battlefield 1942 with everything from submarines, battleships, B-17 bomber, you name it, and showed it at, I think it was ECTS or E3 at that time. And people liked what they saw, but they didn't really know if it could be done. Undeterred,
the team completed Codename Eagle and dived headfirst into Battlefield 1942. And around this time in early 2000, Refraction Games became part of DICE.
Now we had the money, now we had the possibilities. We started to rebuild the engine, and early 2000 we showed the game for media at E3. And once again, everyone said it's beautiful, ooh, super cool, but it can't be done. So we kept on hammering our heads, and it took until early 2001 until EA in Redwood Shores, San Francisco, saw what we were doing. And it was actually the demo of, or the game Codename Eagle and its multiplayer that had been played a lot in their QA department. And I became the producer of the project, and it's kind of, from there on it just exploded. And it's been many interesting, good years.
To say the least. And in the decades since 1942 went to war, a fleet of games bearing the Battlefield moniker has launched, with lifetime sales of almost 40 million. These days, DICE is one of the flashiest studios in the business. Beautiful on the inside, but not exactly horrible on the outside, with stunning views of Stockholm. But it wasn't like this in the beginning.
When I came on, we sat in a small apartment. I'm not sure if it was 3 or 4 rooms, where one was dedicated for the cinema room, and then we were all sitting and sweating in the rest. And, you know, only guys, not very much time to clean, more interest in making games and gaming and going to the pub.
And while the battleground has transformed dramatically over the years, the core of the experience and the team itself has remained consistent and key to the series' success.
I think we are around 7-8 out of the first 1942 team. It could be even 10. I haven't counted them lately. But it is a fact that taking into consideration that Battlefield 1942 was built out of 24 people in 2.5 years, which was kind of suicidal undertaking. One of the key areas where we are really strong is the fact that from the start, when we had delivered 1942, we sat down and did kind of 10 key areas of focus when it comes to Battlefield, kind of core pillars, the Bible, where it's kind of easy to learn, hard to master. It's the sandbox gameplay. It's you know, the fact that soldiers are considered to be a vehicle. It is a lot of kind of core pillars that help us from title to title stick true to what Battlefield was in the beginning.
After Battlefield 1942's rave reviews, Eurogamer described it as currently peerless for sheer absorbing multiplayer action. It was another 3 years until the true sequel arrived.
And then moving on to Battlefield 2, where I became the lead designer, we really wanted to refine that concept. We knew that we had a good game. People loved it, and we just had to, tweak and tune a bit to take it to the modern era, but also to enhance the team play experience.
Battlefield 2 was another instant classic, described by Eurogamer as always a contender in any serious debate about the best online shooter ever. And around the same time, the studio made the inevitable and long-awaited move onto consoles.
The whole Bad Company kind of branching of the franchise meant that we got so much more time to build a new engine for the new next generation of consoles. Introducing Destruction that I had been begging and crying to get for many years. And finally it came through, so I think it's been an iterative process. And as I said, it's easy to underestimate the console consumer, since there are some really hardcore people out there.
And yet again, both Bad Company titles turned out quite well. The first, immensely polished, and its follow-up, the most robust, nuanced and carefully crafted game of its type this hardware generation. Destruction was at the heart of the Bad Company experience. And as the PC and console battlefields finally collide in number 3, it's a major point of difference.
I know it's costful to do, but when it comes to the appeal factor, I have 2 kids at home, 4 and 6, 2 little boys, and even before they start build, they love ruining stuff. And who wouldn't love to go into a store with lots of glass and things and just be able to trash it all and walk out of there? Of course, you wouldn't, but imagine the two. So I think it's part of us. It's a wonderful thing to do on the battlefield, and especially when we build it into the gameplay.
Now one of the most successful, experienced and well-respected studios in the world, DICE will be forgiven for sticking its feet on the desk and lighting up a fat cigar. But there's no chance of complacency setting in.
Every project goes through the big dreams, the restrictions of, okay, we can't do it all, the fear of competitors announcing new cool stuff, and the realization is that, it seems like we betted on the right horses. I think from there on I've learned making games is about managing your fears. It's kind of respect what other people do. We wouldn't be who we are without them doing their thing. But also don't panic when you see cool stuff from the other ones, since they are probably going through the same kind of creative panic and stress. Having made it since the first prototype for almost 12.5 years sounds slightly insane, but I'm already looking forward what might come in the future.
Well, in the near future, October the 25th to be precise, Battlefield 3 comes out all guns blazing on PC, PS3 and 360. Join us in part 2, where we'll tell you everything you need to know about Battlefield 3 single player.